record computer. Okay. So we are recording. So hi everyone. Welcome to our team training and inspiration and all that motivation. You know, you're gonna ready to start your week off strong. Hi Leticia. And so I'm just muting everybody just so we can get a clear recording. And I'm so thrilled to be doing this. I'm so thrilled to be partnering with each and every one of you guys. And I know everybody, I know there's so many of you and you all have such amazing stories, and it inspires me to just your stories and just being able to read through those and look at those on the team page and knowing that how y'all's lives have changed. So I just love it. So I am going to we're going to talk to Stephanie Abrams, and Stephanie Abrams is a Diamond Ambassador, and she's here in Alaska, and she has a great story. I love her story. I love her. She was one of the first people that I met when I came to Alaska, and she is, her and Carl, just a little backstory, her and Carl went to the same church together for how many years, Stephanie?
When did you guys get married?
July 2013, so 4 years ago.
Okay, so we were probably going to church together for like 4 or 5 years.
Okay. So Carl knew Stephanie through his church, and you guys went skiing together, and I'll just let you talk.
Yeah, we went
I'll stop interrupting.
No, you're good. We went skiing and snowboarding together. So I knew Carl pre-Liz. And him and I just really hit it off. He's like the nerdy green, like he knows all these details and, you know, researching. And I love doing that too, but he goes above and beyond what I love. So like color personality, I would say he's mostly green. And for me, I would say I'm red and green. So yeah, we just really hit it off well. And so then he had told my husband, Adrian, he's like, hey, you know, don't tell Steph we're going to go out for dinner and I want her to meet somebody. So we're going to our favorite restaurant, and then, you know, here comes Liz along. And so it was just great to get to meet her, and she would walk away to go eat. And he's like, so what do you think of her? And I'm like, I like her. I think she's great. And so, like, you had signed up for Plexus right before like the night before you came up. So I met you like, what, 3 or 4 days after you had joined?
Yeah.
So that was her start. And then you got married and came up and you invited us over for dinner.
And you had just had your baby.
Yeah, my daughter was a baby, and so you gave us a gift and all that, and you had your Plexus catalog on the counter, and it was the horrible first one. I was like, I think that really threw me off, like seeing this tacky catalog. I was like, oh dear, you poor thing. I don't know what you're in, but it looked so scammy. So I just totally blew it off, but she had friended me on Facebook, and so I was seeing stories. She was consistent with that. She wasn't pushy. You know, I'd ask a little bit more just because I was intrigued. I was intrigued by the stories, and she didn't know, but I was struggling at the time, like super health crunchy guru over here. I was struggling with night sweats. My hair was falling out. I've had digestive issues for so long that I almost just like forgot about it. Like, yeah, my stomach always hurts, you know? And so she didn't know that, but I was watching. And when my timing was finally like, I can't handle this anymore, let's try it. Then she was there, and she had been that friend, and she had shared during the times that I would ask a little bit here and there. So relationship building is huge, guys. Like, you cannot underestimate the power of that, because back at the beginning of Plexus, Liz would just say, just build relationships, is so important. And I was like, I don't get that. Like, I am not a relationship person in the slightest bit. I don't like talking to people. I don't like meeting new people. I'm antisocial. And so all these things that I had told myself, and I really didn't like it, but I learned to change my thoughts about me and who I was and what I could and could not do. And in the process, I learned that I really do like meeting people. I like hearing their stories. And so it's been really a wonderful, wonderful journey. It's been awesome. I'm so glad Liz shared with me. So, yeah, that's kind of the start of it.
And something just I'll add real quick, like Stephanie, we went to church together. She was really involved in, she was like the organizer at church. She was the one that made things happen. And so, when you go somewhere and you see the person that's making things happen, they make the baby shower happen. They make the potluck happen. They make everything. Her and her mom were those people. And Carl was like, Liz, these are people you want to hang out with. Like, this is Stephanie. She's really cool. You'll like her. And so I was like, okay. And I was like, and by the way, I think she'd be great at Plexus. But it was just slowly building relationships, building that relationship with her. And also I would go and I volunteered for I wanted to be around people. And so, and I knew no one outside of like Stephanie and a few other people. And so, Stephanie was helping with quite a few different events at church. And so I volunteered for all those different events to help her. And so I wasn't like puking Plexus on her. I don't even think I brought it up. But I was with her, helping her, and building that relationship. And so then I also set up a ton of like bazaars, like holiday, what do you call them? Holiday bazaars that fall. And so when I had been talking to her just a little bit here and there, she came to one of those bazaars that I was at. And so I was able to, we're not at church, we're not at an event, we're at, and this is my Plexus table. And so I felt like, you came to my Plexus table, I can sit there and talk to you about Plexus.
And something else about that too is it was just like the validity of what she was doing. She wasn't just posting every now and then. She was putting feet to her words. Like, she was going out there. She was, no kidding, working the business. And that is really intriguing and attractive, because you see a lot of people that do a lot of different things on social media, one day, the next, then they're gone doing something else. But when someone is actually staying the course, working, doing events, doing things that they can to meet people and grow their team, people start to pay attention more. And so that was the first time that we even thought of doing the business, because Liz had done a bazaar out where we were, and she's like, yeah, come out, I'm going to be there, you can try it. And so we went, and just hearing the possibility really got us to thinking. And then she bribed us with 7 days if we watched like a 40-minute video from Sonia Dudley. So I was like, sure. Like, I'll do a lot of stuff for something free. So I did.
And you guys, I'm just going to cut her off for a second. Stephanie was like intimidating. I mean, she's like a crunchy granola person that's sitting there asking you about the ingredients. And I'm like, why can't you just take my word for it? Like, just believe me. Right. It tastes great. It works. And so she's sitting there, like, her and her mom both, like, I was scared to death. And they're sitting there asking all these questions. And I'm just like, and I just started telling them testimonies, because stories are where it's at. And so I told them stories, and I showed them the money. And I was like, I'll send you the other stuff because I don't know. You're not taking my word for it.
Yeah, no, I remember that. And then, just hearing of other people that were super crunchy that were doing it too. So if you are like Liz and you are not that green personality that likes, oh, I want to know where they get that Carcina cambogia and how it's processed. And is that holy stevia or part of the leaf? And, is it water processed or alcohol? You don't have to know all of that. Send them the story of Shoshana, or, whoever that is super crunchy. And you can say, you know what? They are so much like you. It's not even funny with how they, think and what they do. And this is her story with Plexus. So that you don't have to know all of that stuff. And they can relate with someone else. So you don't have to be everything for everyone. You can connect them with another person that they can relate to.
So you tried your 7-day and you jumped in the business right away, right?
Yeah, you wish. No, I signed up. It was Black Friday special. And so I signed up and I got my products in, and then I gave it to my husband a couple times. I took a few packets and kind of split them up and used them. And then I stuck it in the pantry. I was that person that you just really want to strangle, honestly, when they start. I did not have my convenience order on at the time. I was like, don't even talk to me about, turning on some auto ship thing, because it's not happening. And don't talk to me about the business. And so it was probably 2 months later, and I was kind of like, okay, I'm really going to commit. Did someone say something?
Oh, I don't know. Go ahead.
So it was about 2 months later. I was like, okay, I'm going to finally commit. And I started taking it faithfully, really loved how it just was that missing piece to what I was doing already. And that was one of the things that kind of kept me from Plex at the beginning. I saw it and how simple it was. And I thought, how can this be better than what I'm already doing? My dad has had food allergies as long as I can remember. So that really started us into this journey of holistic and health and natural and tinctures and cleanses and you name it. So we've done a lot. And seeing Plexus, I was like, nah, this doesn't seem like it's real. But it was, and we loved it. We loved the results. And Liz kept telling me, she's like, you need to post on Facebook. You need to post on Facebook. You need to share. So we're talking, this is now like 2 months, 3 months in before I finally do my first Facebook post.
And she had like 5,000 friends.
Yeah. And I had maybe 100, and I post the friends, 100 friends, and I posted maybe 3 or 4 times a year. Just to give you an example, when my daughter was born, we all know how pregnancy, and, birth announcements get tons of comments and likes, even if you're like never on there. I got 11 likes and 3 comments for my first child's birth announcement on Facebook. Okay. That was 4 years ago. I just had my baby 3 weeks ago. He's sitting on the bed behind me. So if you hear some screaming, that's him, and he'll be joining me. But I had him 3 weeks ago. So we're now talking fast forward to 4 years. And I had over 700 likes and, 200 something comments. So I say that to say you do not have to be this mega social media person to make it. Okay. I had, like I said, about 100 friends. I never posted. I was not consistent. So I really had to be very intentional with growing myself, my social media presence, and what I shared on there, sharing my story. I had to learn to do that, to share me, because I am a very private person. And I don't care if someone knows that I went here for lunch, or this is what I made, or I'm like, why are you showing me your lunch? I couldn't care less, So I really had to learn and become more than I had been. So guys, if that's you, or I know some people, they'll friend people and they see, she's only got, 200 friends or so. She can never really do this. Anything is possible with the Lord. Anything is possible. So this is now 3 months pretty much into my journey. I finally do my post. People were interested. And it was February, March, where I think I went silver. And that first rank was just really exciting. Like, oh, I did something, this is pretty cool. And I then I was like, okay, I think I want to do this business here, and at the same time I had been praying, Lord, I really need something to do from home because I don't want to do piano lessons anymore. I had 36 students at the time, and so it was a lot, especially with a new baby, and it wasn't happening. I wanted to be able to put more time into her. So Plexus was that answer, but I didn't realize it at first. So anyway, fast forward, do the business, went silver, went gold, went senior gold in June, and I was there for a very long time. I had to grow a lot. I had a lot of learning that I had to do. I had to change my mindset a lot. And I listen to Sarah Robbins. I love her stuff. Pretty much anything she comes out with, I listen to. I have her book. I have both of her audios. She is just someone that has walked the walk. And yes, Rock Your Network Marketing Business. Love her stuff. Love it. So I listen to her YouTube social media 101, I think, or something like that. She's got 2 of them. It's about an hour long. And I listened to that several times. I was like, okay, what do I need to do to grow this? Because she was young and broke, and all her friends were young and broke too. And she made it to the top of her company. So if she can do it, why can't I? And I learned. I applied myself. And when I saw everybody else ranking up around me, and I saw these people that had started after me, and they were hitting this and that and this and that. And I was like, this is never going to happen, but I'm going to keep doing it anyway. And Liz would be like, oh, you are going to do this. You can do this. And Carl would be like, yeah, you really can. And I'd be thinking, like, you're lying through your teeth, but I'm going to keep doing this anyway. Like just that trying to believe in someone else's belief in you. And you really think they're lying just to keep you going, but you do it anyway. So just some things that I learned was you've got to commit. You've got to commit to the process. You've got to be brave enough to endure the mediocrity of growth. And sometimes it's the little, we like the big, the grand gestures, the final touchdown that was, 0.2 seconds before the clock ended on the, NFL biggest game of the year, or whatever the case, the big Olympics. But we don't see the hours and hours and years of dedication that lead up to that moment. And that is where being brave enough, being strong enough to endure and to keep going on and to not quit when you're tired and you're exhausted and no one's paying attention and no one's watching your posts, you think. No one's liking it except your mom and your sponsor. We've all been there, okay? But you have got to keep going. You've got to commit to the process. You've got to commit to taking your products consistently. If I had never consistently taken the products, I wouldn't have gotten results. I would not have kept going. I would not be a diamond because I didn't give it consistency right at the beginning. So getting you to commit to doing your products is huge. You've got to do that. Commit to your IPA. Commit to filling your funnel. Commit to just becoming better than you have been. If you don't like where you're at, what you've done in the past has brought you to where you are. So if you want to be more in the future, you have to change something. And so that's what I started doing. So I grew myself. I listened to, Liz told me, she's like, go on YouTube and just watch. She gave me some names of the different diamonds, Sarah Marble, Sonia Dudley. I have watched everything that they put out. Lori Harrison, Tamara Holloway. You name it, I could tell you what that video was about. I mean, I just immersed myself in that. Audiobooks were huge. One of the things that Sarah Robin talked about was affirmations. Changing your mindset when you really cannot see it happening. And, the Bible talks about as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Meditate on what is good, right, lovely, good report. And a lot of times we don't do that. And so we just get this negative about us and, oh, I can't do this, or she's ranking up faster than I am, or nobody's listening to what I'm saying, or I don't know how to say this, or on and on and on. I've never done anything well before. Nobody ever makes it to the top in this. All that negativity, you have to start replacing it with the good. So I got out my paper. Kelly Norman has a really good one too from Rock the Pink. love it. So I got out my pen and paper and I wrote this affirmation about myself, declaring what I wanted. And, I have the fastest growing team in the country, and I make, in the company, and I make friends wherever I go. And I love connecting with people and all these different things that were not me, but that I wanted to change and I wanted to become better. Now you look at the the scoop that comes out with Plexus. Emily Gibson, Brooke Hemingway, Eric Paul, Amy Paul, those people are on my team. Those people are always on that leaders board, the top people in the company, the fastest growing team in the company. If you look at, the preferred customers, the new ambassadors, someone from my team somewhere is always on there. Always on there. Now, is it me on there? Is it me doing all of this? No. But would they have heard about Plexus? Would any of that have happened if I had quit? If I had just said, like, this isn't worth it, Amy's not doing anything. She signed up and she doesn't like her products and she's not taking them, and she gained 8 pounds and and she's just like complaining the whole time, and she says she doesn't need money, and she's got 7 kids and she's always busy. All these things, it was leading up to what is now, because I was consistent, because I stayed the course. And so now, 3 years later, I do have the fastest growing team in Plexus. One of my affirmations that I had said was, I have changed thousands of lives. And I wrote that down. I don't know, my paper's up there. I don't see it. I have a bunch of affirmations all over the place. But in my Diamond documentary, Liz is on there and she's talking and she's like, and she has changed thousands of lives. I never told her that affirmation was on there, but just stay the course, like stay consistent. It happens, but you can't quit. So commitment is huge. Changing that mindset, we have so much negativity in the world, and you have to replace that with the good. So affirmations are amazing. Affirmations are amazing. Filling your funnel, always finding new friends, finding new people, and being sincere about it. Don't just friend everybody in the world. So, okay, hopefully they'll join Plexus and make me rich. No, like connect with those people, find out what they like, what about them is interesting, what is important to them. And then, like all the time, we have something that can help them with what they want. Liz did not know that I was looking for another job, that I had these health struggles that I was dealing with, but she was my friend and she shared. And when I was ready, she was there. Now fast forward, just yesterday, my husband heard that his job, so he was able to retire from his job in Anchorage at the age of 27. So he now is retired. He has his own business that he likes to do, and he enjoys doing that, and he can pick and choose what he wants. So he's retired. And just yesterday, he heard from some of his friends that still work there that his company that he used to work for just went bankrupt. So what would have happened if this is our sole income? We just find out this company has gone bankrupt. I mean, can you imagine the stress that we would have? But because the Lord brought this into my life 3 years ago, I said yes. I committed, even when it was hard, even when it was rough, even when I called Carl and Liz and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is terrible, and I'm crying. And what would have happened if I would have just said, it's not worth it, I'm done? So commit to it. There is always a reason the Lord has brought something into your life, and you need to be listening to that. Liz, what do you I feel like I'm kind of rambling here, but
no, that's so good. I'm like getting chill bumps just listening to your story. I didn't realize that about Adrian's.
Yeah, he just heard that last night. And I mean, there's been so many times where we're just like, where would we be without Plexus? You know, we have a church, a small church out here that we are helping start with some missionary friends of ours. I'm not sure even what their name is, but maybe evangelists, I don't know. But we decided to start a church out here. And so we've been able to help that so much, financially and with different things. And just being able to do that, being able to give has been so incredible. I mean, I love giving, and I did not realize that I did until I had the money to do it. So I love it. You know, there's just on and on. I could name so many different things that where would we be if we'd said no, if, you know, Adrian had been like, no, don't do this. And, you know, he always was like, oh, is this your next new thing you're going to do? And I was like, no, I'm just, you know, you're going to drink this drink. And so he took the drink and he's like, it's not bad. But then I was like, I think I'm going to do this business. And he's like, well, I think you can, babe. And so he always supported me. He was always that support. You know, I'd be all bummed out because I'd see somebody else have ranked up and I'm still at this same senior gold rank for the last, 15 years. Not really, but feels like it. And he's like, it's okay, babe. It's going to happen for you. It's going to happen. And it did. You know, if you're going through a struggle, if you're going through a hard time in your business, I love what Les Brown says. It has not come to stay. It has come to pass. You read that in the Bible all the time, and it came to pass, and it came to pass. It's not here forever. Just keep going and don't quit when it's hard. Don't be a quitter when it's hard. If you're going to quit when it's easy. And nobody really wants to do that then. So they just keep going and they keep doing it and the impossible happens. So, yeah, that was good. I have a few things written down here. Okay, so just a few tips that I would say. Have your affirmations, have them all over the place. I have my phone here. I have my a dream board that I made and I put on my phone. So every time I turn my phone on, I see it. I see all these things that I want to happen this year. And then when I open my phone, I have my other set of affirmations and other goals on the inside as well. So just always having that in front of you, always what you want to see happening, think on those things. Have them written out. Speak over them every night. You could, I went to my voice memos app, and I recorded like 20 minutes of different affirmations. And so I'll play those at night. Or you can download apps and that are affirmations. But whatever it is, just always be putting that good in. When you're sleeping, it could be an audiobook. Like you sleep, but your mind doesn't. Your mind is always awake. And so if you can be feeling that non-conscious, that subconscious mind with good things, with positive things, that's really important. In your phone, these are, again, just some like day-to-day tips that I use. See if my phone will actually work. It's not working. It shows I have 0 camera. It shows I have 0 pictures right now, which kind of scares me because I have like 2,000 in here and it's not pulling up. But
oh my word.
Now it's starting to think about it. But I have a Plexus. See, now it's starting to pull up. I have a Plexus folder for my phone that has all of my Plexus information, whether it's how to take the products, the price list, if somebody asks a question about this or the other. I put all of that information into that file. So when somebody asks me a question, I can say, here, this is for you. One of the easiest things that I like to do is I have the triplex that is the 3 prices. And if somebody says, well, what's the cost? I will send them that picture and I'll say, have I explained how to get this the cheapest way possible? So instead of going into, well, retail is this much, and if you prefer, you have to have a monthly subscription and on and on and on, you just send them the picture. They see the pricing and then they can decide if they want to hear more about it or not. So that's kind of a simple way to do things there. If you are really scared of messaging somebody, message them at night before you go to bed. Right before you go to bed, just send that voice message, send that text, turn it all off, and don't think about it. So that way, it's at night, everything looks better in the morning, and you're not like sitting there, have messaged them in the morning, and then through the entire day, you're like checking your phone. Have they seen it? Have they seen it? Oh, she saw it. She hasn't messaged me back. just do it at night. It kind of cuts down on that drama, that stress feeling. And a lot of times it's just a few seconds of bravery. Just a few seconds of bravery to get you past that point to where you're like, oh, I did it. It's over with. And it maybe was horrible, but I did it. And you'll feel proud of yourself because you've done that. So just be like, if something is coming up, if you really want to talk to somebody or you're going to do this event or whatever, it's just a few seconds of bravery. That's usually all you need. So just be brave for that little bit, do it, keep moving on. So I don't know. I think that's kind of all I have written here.
That's perfect, Stephanie. Thank you so much for sharing. Love y'all's story, and just literally gives me chill bumps, and just absolutely love it. So thankful for you, and Adrian and y'all's family has really blessed us. So guys, thank you all for jumping on. Thank you, Stephanie, for jumping on. I have a softball game in 10 minutes, so I'm running out the door. Go put my bright yellow shirt on that I didn't wear because I didn't want to like bling you guys with. So thank you, Stephanie, and I'll post this recording here in a little bit. We'll see you guys. Good night.